Water's the lifeblood for anything that we're going to do, are doing, or can do. Without the ability to grow, without the ability to take care of the people that are needed for that growth, and then obviously those that we're trying to attract to create more growth, water is literally essential to everything that we do.
Well, water is important for a number of reasons, but one reason is that we work to create a sense of place. We want people, visitors, and also our residents to remember that we have these beautiful trails and we have these great restaurants and we have all this natural beauty, but we also want them to know that we have great tasting water.
When we're working to locate a new industry and we're competing against communities and regions across the country and across the world, water is always one of those things that we discuss because of CAW's ability to not only create an abundance of water for today, the quality of that water for today, but also the capacity of growth for decades to come. Those things are important to companies, not only if they use water in their process, but because they recognize without people, without talented people, they can't grow, and without water, they don't get either one.
Well, water is very important for anyone that produces a product. Let's take food manufacturers, for example. Whether it's Diamond Bear, it's an ingredient in their beer, or someone like Tyson's who's making breaded chicken products, it's an ingredient there, or the waffle bakers. Even if they're not using water as an ingredient in their product, it's used to wash down equipment, and it's also used as a cooling agent in their boilers. And if water has impurities, it'll cause their equipment to not be as efficient, and it will increase the wear and tear and won't last as long.
When you look at regionalism and the ability to bring more people to the table in providing a service to them, but having them help in terms of different sources for that water and also treatment opportunities for that water, you put all of those things together and you have one entity doing that for a larger group. We have the ability not only for the economy of scale, but also to be able to plan further into the future because you have the resources to do it. If we're constrained by political boundaries within specific communities or specific counties, then we don't often have the opportunity to take that forward look and look 40, 50, 60, 70 years down the road as opposed to 4 or 6 years.
One of the things is that economic development is regional. When a manufacturer decides they're going to come to our community, the number one thing that influences where they're going to locate is probably going to be the site. So if a site, if you're providing water throughout the community, throughout Central Arkansas, then it's not going to matter where in our community they decide to locate, they're going to be able to get Central Arkansas water.
In the competitive world of economic development, we're always looking for a way to differentiate ourselves from the competition. And water is one of those primary areas that we have in which we can differentiate ourselves, not only with the quality of the water, the abundance of the water, the capacity for future growth, but the ability to use it in so many ways, either from a process perspective or a drinking perspective or a recreation perspective. We have all of that because of the amazing work that CAW has done with our water resources here in Central Arkansas. That's why we differentiate ourselves so well from so many others.
We definitely sell water as being an asset, and it's certainly an arrow in our quiver. One of the reasons is that economic development is regional. We work with site consultants who come into our marketplace and look for sites for potential clients. And when they do FAM tours and they come here, we always talk about the quality of our water as one of the assets we have in our community.
When you look at the history of how CAW was formed and you look at the leaders who came together, understanding that the way that we were going to be better together was to truly be together from a water resource standpoint, giving us the capacity for that growth. You know, all too often, communities are constrained by their inability to be able to provide more that then attracts more. And yet CAW, its leadership, both from a staff standpoint and the board's perspective, have literally navigated an amazing part of our history and have set us up for what truly is going to be an even better storied history going forward.
I think the most important things Central Arkansas Water can do to serve the community is, number one, keep the source pure. I think that that's a really important thing that you can do. Number two, I think, is keep the infrastructure current and maintained so that we have a good infrastructure for all of our water. And lastly, I think it's important when we do expand our economic footprint that you work with us to help us get water to the industrial sites that we're creating to attract new businesses here.